Chosen one, there's a secret about your calling. A truth so powerful, so sacred, that once it's revealed to you, your life will never be the same. But hear this clearly. Once you know it, you cannot share it with everyone. Because not every soul is ready to hear what heaven entrusted only to you. This is not a message for the crowd. This is for the awakened, the ones who walk through shadows, carrying divine light within their chest. The ones who feel the weight of silence pressing against their lips because their spirit knows. If the secret is spoken too soon, it will be destroyed by unbelieving ears. The burden of the chosen. Being chosen means you walk a road others cannot see. Your spirit has been awakened to truths that pierce through the illusions of this world. You feel the lies of society, the emptiness in the systems, the false smiles covering broken hearts. You see through the masks. But with this vision comes isolation. People sense something different about you, something unsettling to them. They may mock you, attack you, or try to make you doubt your own awakening. Because deep down, they fear the light you carry will expose their darkness. The hidden fire. Chosen one, you carry a fire not meant to be wasted on small conversations. Your wisdom, your revelations, your vision, they are sacred treasures. Not everyone around you can handle their weight. If you place pearls in the hands of those who do not value them, they will trample them and laugh at you for offering it. This is why God whispers to your spirit, "Keep this between you and me." Not because you are meant to hide forever, but because divine timing must be honored. The world's reaction. You've already seen it. The moment you share a glimpse of your awakening, people look at you with suspicion. They call you strange. They distance themselves. And in that rejection, you are reminded, this path was never about pleasing the world. The world has always silenced prophets. The world has always tried to suppress the truth. They did it before you. They will do it again. But you must not give them your power. Guard the sacred. Wait until heaven says, "Now speak." The signs you are chosen. You know you're chosen when silence feels heavier than words. When you walk into a room and people feel your presence before you speak. When you sense you don't fit into conversations anymore because your spirit is operating on another frequency. When life keeps stripping away distractions so you can stand face to face with your purpose. You know you're chosen when your heart aches for truth while the world entertains lies. When your nights are restless because heaven is downloading visions into your soul. When storms hit you harder, but every storm only makes you stronger. The strength of silence. Silence is your shield. It protects your destiny from being contaminated by disbelief. It guards your vision until it is mature enough to manifest. It allows God to prepare the stage before the world ever sees your role. The secret is not just about knowledge. It's about power. And power in the wrong hands can destroy. That is why the chosen must learn restraint, why you must learn to let silence speak for you. The moment of release. One day, chosen one, heaven will command you to release what you've carried in secret. And when that day comes, your words will not fall to the ground. They will shake souls. They will break chains. They will set captives free. But until then, be still. Do not reveal what is meant to stay hidden in the womb of your spirit. Because what you are carrying is not just knowledge, it is destiny. The final word. Chosen one, you are not crazy. You are not alone. You are not misunderstood by accident. You were chosen to hold what others cannot. So guard the secret. Embrace the silence. Trust the timing. And remember, the greatest power is not in speaking too soon, but in waiting until the heavens open the right door. If this message touched your soul, chosen one, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Chosen Rays. Comment below with "I am chosen" if you know this word was for you. And never forget, you are carrying heaven's light in a world that prefers darkness. Stay strong, stay silent, stay chosen, the weight of the secret. Chosen one, when you carry knowledge from heaven, it feels heavy. Not because it's a burden meant to crush you, but because it holds divine responsibility. You wake up with revelations that stir your soul. You hear whispers in your spirit that others cannot hear. But every time you try to share it with the wrong person, you feel their confusion, their resistance, their mockery. That is heaven reminding you, not yet. Not every audience is ready. Not every ear can hear the frequency of God's truth. So you carry it, silently, patiently, until the appointed time, the test of patience. God often tests his chosen with silence. He shows you visions of what is to come, but commands you to remain still. You see the end before the beginning even makes sense to others. And you are forced to walk through days where nobody understands the fire you hold within. This silence can feel like isolation, but it is really preparation. Your enemies will not know your next move because you have learned to keep quiet. Your blessings will not be stolen because you have hidden them in prayer. Your destiny will not be sabotaged because you resisted the urge to reveal it too soon. The danger of loose lips. Think of Joseph the dreamer. He revealed his dream too early to his own brothers. Instead of celebrating, they envied him. They conspired against him. They sold him into slavery. Not everyone who smiles at you is happy for you. Not every family member wants to see you rise. Not every friend is truly your ally. The chosen must discern who can be trusted and who must remain in the dark. This is why silence is your weapon. Loose lips can sink divine ships. But silence protects the cargo of your destiny until it reaches its safe harbor. The language of the Spirit. Chosen ones often find themselves speaking less. Not because they don't have wisdom to share, but because they are tuned into a different language, the language of the Spirit. Sometimes your silence is not emptiness. It is listening. It is aligning. It is letting God speak louder than your own words. People may misunderstand this silence. They may call you distant, withdrawn, or strange. But they do not realize you are in constant dialogue with heaven. You are not ignoring the world. You are listening to the kingdom. The hidden garden. Imagine your destiny like a seed planted in a garden. If you dig it up too soon to show others, it will never grow. But if you cover it, water it, and protect it, one day it will bloom so beautifully that no one can deny it. Your silence is the soil. Your prayers are the water. Your faith is the sunlight. And in time, the secret you've carried will blossom into a testimony the whole world will see, the shield against betrayal. Chosen one, betrayal often comes from those closest to you. Not strangers, not distant enemies, but from people who sat at your table, who smiled in your face, who pretended to celebrate you while secretly envying your light. This is why silence becomes your greatest shield. The less they know about your next step, the less they can sabotage. The less they know about your revelations, the less they can mock. The less they know about your blessings, the less they can plot against you. It is not about living in fear. It is about living in wisdom. God did not call you to hand the blueprint of your destiny to people who secretly want to see you fail. The power of mystery. Chosen ones carry an air of mystery. This confuses people who expect you to explain yourself. But understand this: mystery protects what God is building inside of you. When you don't reveal everything, people cannot predict you. When you remain silent, they cannot measure your depth. When you walk with mystery, they are forced to respect or fear what they cannot understand. Even Jesus often told people, "Tell no one." Not because the miracles weren't real, but because the timing wasn't right. And if the Son of God himself embraced silence and mystery, how much more should you? Energy vampires. There are people who feed off your energy, chosen one. When you share too much, they drain you. When you reveal your vision, they try to discourage you. When you shine your light too brightly, they attempt to dim it. These are energy vampires. They cannot create their own fire, so they try to extinguish yours. Your silence denies them access to the sacred fire inside you. And without access, they lose their power over you. The loneliness of silence. There will be nights when your silence feels unbearable. When you want to pick up the phone and tell someone what you just discovered. When your heart aches for someone to understand the depth of your visions. But remember, your silence is not loneliness. It is intimacy with God. It is heaven's way of saying, "I am enough. I will hold what others cannot carry for you." And in that silence, you will discover strength that conversation could never give you. Spiritual protection. Every time you stay quiet about your plans, you protect them. Every time you remain silent about your struggles, you deny the enemy ammunition. Every time you withhold your revelations, you guard them from mockery. Silence is not weakness. It is a shield, a spiritual armor that blocks the arrows of jealousy, gossip, and envy. The less they know, the less they can use against you. Divine timing in silence. Chosen one, silence is not just an act, it is a strategy of heaven. God hides you while he builds you. He keeps your name quiet until the right ears are prepared to hear it. He allows your gifts to remain unseen until the right platform is ready to hold them. This waiting can feel like delay, but it is divine timing. Because if your gift is revealed too soon, it can be crushed by the weight of unpreparedness. If your calling is exposed too early, it can be stolen by those who wish to twist it. So God whispers, "Be still. I am aligning the moment with your mission." Your silence is not punishment, it is preservation. The hidden season. Every chosen one has a hidden season. A season where you are unseen, unnoticed, and underestimated. People may think you are doing nothing, but in reality, you are being sharpened in secret. Like a sword, God is shaping your edge away from the eyes of the world. During this hidden season, silence protects your growth. The soil does not announce the seed, it just covers it. The cocoon does not explain the butterfly, it just hides it. You are in your cocoon, your soil, your sacred place of becoming. When the time comes, your emergence will be undeniable. And everyone who once ignored you will not be able to overlook you. Silence is power. The enemy is always watching, chosen one. Not just with eyes, but with spirits that sense your movement. If you reveal your next step, they set traps. If you announce your breakthrough too early, they try to block it. But silence confuses them. They cannot stop what they cannot predict. They cannot fight what they cannot see. They cannot destroy what is still hidden in God's hand. This is why silence is not just safety, it is raw power. The kind of power that shakes darkness because it does not reveal its strategy. Heaven's whisper. Chosen one, the most powerful revelations are often given in whispers. God does not shout his secrets, he hides them in silence. And only those willing to be still can hear them. That is why you feel drawn to solitude. That is why noise irritates your spirit. That is why you crave stillness when others crave distraction. Because heaven's whispers cannot be heard in chaos. You are learning the sacred art of silence. The art of receiving more than you reveal. The art of listening more than you speak. And in that silence, heaven is shaping your destiny. Inner strength through silence. Chosen one, silence is not emptiness. It is strength being forged in the unseen. When you hold back your words, you learn control. When you keep your revelations private, you learn discipline. When you sit in stillness, you learn to hear your own soul without the noise of the world. This inner strength cannot be faked. It is not loud. It does not need attention. It does not beg to be understood. Your silence becomes a fortress. People may wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning, what you're preparing. But they will never know until God decides to unveil it. Authority in stillness. True authority does not need to announce itself. A lion does not need to roar for the jungle to respect its presence. A king does not need to explain his crown. And a chosen one does not need to justify their silence. Your stillness intimidates those who thrive on noise. Your calmness unsettles those who live in chaos. Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing others to face the emptiness inside themselves. The less you speak, the more your presence speaks for you. Your aura, your energy, your divine calling, it all becomes louder than words. Protecting the vision. Visions are fragile in their early stages. Like newborns, they require protection, nurturing, and covering. If you expose them too soon, they can be attacked before they are strong enough to survive. This is why God often seals your lips. He wants your vision to grow in strength before it faces opposition. He wants your destiny to be deeply rooted before the storm comes. He wants your gift to mature before it is placed before kings. Silence is not delay, it is incubation. It is God saying, "What I've placed in you is too important to be mishandled." The fire that cannot be extinguished. Chosen one, have you noticed that your silence makes your fire burn brighter? When you hold back your revelations, they grow stronger within you. When you keep your dreams in prayer, they gain spiritual power. When you guard your secrets, they transform into weapons of light. Your silence does not weaken you, it fuels you. It gives your destiny room to breathe. It allows your spirit to rise above the noise of doubt. It protects the flame until it becomes a wildfire no one can put out, freedom from worldly traps. Chosen one, silence cuts the cords that try to tie you to this world. The world wants to know your next step. The world wants to track your movements. The world wants to measure your success so it can mock or compare it. But when you stay silent, you step out of their trap. You no longer play their game of validation. You no longer live for applause or approval. You move in secrecy, and secrecy keeps you free. They cannot chain what they cannot predict. They cannot cage what they cannot name. They cannot stop what they cannot see. Alignment with divine purpose. Every moment you choose silence over noise, you draw closer to God. Because silence is the frequency of heaven. When you are quiet, you hear the whispers of the Spirit. When you are still, you sense God's direction more clearly. This is why silence feels sacred to you. It is alignment. It is your soul syncing with divine timing. It is your spirit resting in God's order rather than man's pressure. In silence, you are reminded that your destiny is not built on human approval, but divine will. The enemy's confusion. Chosen one, your silence is warfare. The enemy thrives on information. He studies your patterns, your words, your emotions, waiting for an open door. But when you move in silence, that door is shut. The enemy cannot attack a plan he does not know. He cannot destroy a blessing he cannot identify. He cannot twist a revelation he has never heard. Your silence throws confusion into the camp of darkness. They gather, they whisper, they watch, yet they have nothing to use against you. And in that frustration, they reveal their own weakness. The spiritual discipline. Silence is more than protection, it is discipline. It trains you to resist the urge of oversharing. It teaches you patience in a world addicted to speed. It keeps you rooted in wisdom rather than impulse. Chosen ones are not impulsive souls. You are deliberate. You are guided. You are careful with your steps because every move carries divine weight. And silence, it refines this discipline until your spirit is unshakable. It makes you untouchable to gossip, envy, and distraction. It sets you apart as one who walks not by sight, but by spirit, rising above the noise. Chosen one, this world is loud. Everyone is shouting to be seen, to be heard, to be validated. But those who shout the loudest often carry the least substance. And those who carry the deepest truth are often the quietest. Your silence elevates you above the noise. While others compete for attention, you conserve your power. While they waste energy proving themselves, you build strength in stillness. And when you finally speak, your words strike with precision, because they are rare, refined, and rooted in divine truth. The weight of your words. Chosen one, understand this. Your words carry weight. They are not empty. They are not wasted. They are arrows that pierce the spirit. This is why heaven trains you in silence. Because once you are released to speak, the world will not forget what you say. Your voice will echo in the hearts of those who hear it. Your truth will travel far beyond your presence. And your words will shake the foundations of lies. The sacred aura. Silence gives you an aura others cannot explain. They feel your presence before you open your mouth. They sense your authority even without titles. They know there is something different about you, though they cannot name it. This aura is not for pride, it is for purpose. It is heaven's mark upon you. It is the divine energy that surrounds those who are set apart. And it is strengthened every time you choose silence over unnecessary speech. Amplified influence. The world listens differently to those who don't speak often. When you are known for silence, people lean in when you finally decide to speak. They hang onto your words because they know you don't waste them. Your influence is amplified not by the quantity of your words, but by their quality. That is why God commands silence for His chosen. So that when the moment of release comes, the world cannot ignore you. Your words will carry thunder. Your truth will carry lightning. Your message will break chains that endless noise never could. Prepared for leadership. Chosen one, silence is not just about hiding, it is about training. God uses your quiet seasons to prepare you for leadership. Because true leaders are not built in the spotlight. They are forged in the shadows. When you learn to keep your mouth shut, you learn to observe. You see what others miss. You discern motives that words cannot hide. You recognize truth in a world drowning in deception. This makes you a leader not by title, but by essence. People will follow your spirit, not just your speech. Because they can feel the weight of heaven resting on you, authority in hiddenness. Every prophet, every messenger, every chosen vessel had a season of silence. Moses was hidden in the desert. David was hidden in the fields. Even Jesus was hidden for 30 years before stepping into his ministry. Why? Because authority is not granted, it is cultivated. It grows in the soil of hiddenness. And when the time comes, your authority will not be questioned, because it has already been established in the secret place. Leadership through restraint. The world thinks leadership is about how loud you can be. But the chosen know, real authority is about restraint. Anyone can speak. Anyone can shout. But not everyone can hold silence until the right moment. Your silence teaches people that not every thought deserves to be spoken. Not every truth needs to be revealed at once. Not every vision is for every audience. This restraint is the mark of divine leadership. Generational impact. Chosen one, your silence today is shaping tomorrow. Because when you guard your revelations, they grow strong enough to outlive you. When you protect your destiny, it becomes a legacy. When you wait for God's timing, your influence stretches across generations. The world may not understand your silence now. They may think you are wasting time, missing opportunities, hiding too long. But one day, the fruit of your silence will feed nations. One day, your restraint will become the reason entire bloodlines are set free. Silence as warfare. Chosen one, silence is not weakness, it is warfare. Every time you refuse to reveal your plan, you rob the enemy of a weapon. Every time you stay quiet about your blessing, you protect it from evil eyes. Every time you hold your tongue, you break the cycle of gossip and confusion. The enemy thrives on information. He waits for you to slip, to overshare, to expose your heart to the wrong ears. But when you move in silence, he is left in the dark. He is forced to guess, to assume, to stumble blindly. And in his frustration, he exposes himself. The confusion of darkness. Your silence confuses the enemy. He cannot track what heaven has hidden. He cannot steal what is sealed in your spirit. He cannot block a blessing he does not even know exists. This is why some of your enemies grow restless around you. It is not what you say that bothers them, it is what you don't say. It is the mystery you carry, the aura of the unknown. They cannot control what they cannot define. The hidden weapon. Chosen one, silence is a weapon sharper than any sword. It cuts through deception by refusing to engage it. It disarms manipulators because they have nothing to twist. It protects your peace because arguments cannot survive where silence reigns. Your silence is not passive, it is active. It is a spiritual strike. It tells your enemies, you do not have access to me, you do not deserve my energy, you cannot drain my spirit. Elevation through silence. God elevates those who know when to speak and when to stay silent. Because silence is humility. It shows you are not desperate for attention. It shows you trust God to reveal you at the right time. It shows you are secure in your calling, even when unrecognized. This humility is what attracts divine promotion. God resists the proud, but he exalts the humble. And silence, it is the crown of humility. It is the mark of those who know their worth without needing to prove it. Spiritual authority in silence. Chosen one, silence builds a kind of authority that words alone cannot give. It makes you untouchable, unshakable, unmovable in the spirit. Because when you master silence, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, the enemy loses his grip on you. People wonder why your presence feels heavy, even when you say nothing. It is because your silence carries authority. Your stillness radiates power. Your quietness shakes the atmosphere. This is not ordinary silence. This is heaven's silence flowing through you. A vessel heaven can trust. God tests his chosen with secrets. He whispers revelations into your spirit to see if you can carry them. If you reveal them carelessly, you delay your next assignment. But if you guard them faithfully, heaven gives you more. Chosen one, the reason you feel burdened with visions and truths is because God trusts you. He has seen that you can hold what others would waste. He has seen that you can protect what others would expose. He has seen that your silence makes you a safe vessel for divine mysteries. The seal of the Spirit. When you choose silence, you are sealing yourself in the Spirit. You are telling God, I will not let this world corrupt what you've given me. You are telling heaven, I will guard this vision until you command me to release it. You are telling the enemy, you will not find weakness in my words. This seal cannot be broken by gossip, by envy, or by distraction. It holds you together when the world tries to pull you apart. It keeps your spirit whole while others crumble under pressure. The silent revolution. Chosen one, silence does not mean nothing is happening. In silence, battles are being won. In silence, chains are breaking. In silence, your spirit is rising higher. You may look quiet on the outside, but in the unseen realm, your silence is a revolution. It is shifting atmospheres. It is confusing enemies. It is aligning destinies. That is why silence feels so powerful to you, because it is. It is not emptiness. It is movement in the spirit. It is victory without noise, purification through silence. Chosen one, silence is a cleansing fire. It burns away distractions. It removes the poison of unnecessary conversations. It frees your soul from the clutter of opinions. When you choose silence, you allow your spirit to detox. The noise of the world fades, and the voice of God becomes clearer. You no longer chase after validation. You anchor yourself in truth. And in that truth, your soul becomes purified. The wellspring of wisdom. Silence is the soil where wisdom grows. Every time you hold your tongue, you create space for discernment. Every time you pause instead of reacting, you hear guidance from above. Every time you stay still, heaven pours wisdom into you. This is why chosen ones often shock people with the depth of their insight. It is not because you studied more, it is because you listened more. You tapped into the eternal wellspring of wisdom that flows only in silence. And this wisdom cannot be bought, copied, or stolen. It is divine. The refining of the spirit. In silence, your weaknesses are exposed. Your impulses rise to the surface. Your need for validation is tested. Your pride is confronted. But it is in this refining that your spirit becomes strong. The longer you sit in silence, the more unshakable you become. You stop seeking to be understood and start seeking to understand. You stop reacting to the world and start responding to heaven. The divine conversation. Chosen one, silence is not the absence of conversation. It is the beginning of the highest one. Because in silence, you talk with God without words. Your heart speaks. Your soul whispers. Your spirit communes directly with heaven. This divine conversation cannot be overheard by enemies. It cannot be interrupted by noise. It cannot be stopped by man. It is sacred. It is eternal. It is yours, chosen one. If this word stirred something deep in your soul, don't let it fade into silence. Stand boldly in your calling. Protect your secret, embrace your silence, and walk in the power heaven has given you. If this message touched your spirit, make sure you like this video, share it with another chosen one, and subscribe to the Chosen Rays. Comment below, "I guard the secret," so I know this message was for you. Your silence is your weapon. Your destiny is your proof. And your light, chosen one, will not be hidden forever.